Hello. Thanks, Joe.
Sorry, I just
Nice
couldn't stop
opening
myself. I
yawn.
tried. I tried really hard.
Didn't even try a little bit.
I did though.
Welcome to Friday Stream, a division of Stream. Today, we're going to be going over the Relic riddle. We're going to reveal the new Relic riddle. And then we're going to show off some new shiny, and by shiny I mean terribly not shiny, gameplay of the escape mode add-on mini expansion, which will be in the Abyssal Trove. This is still very much in prototype stage, so set your expectations appropriately. I am joined by our illustrious team of Rob and Joe Camp.
Hello.
Hello, that's
Again.
me who yawned. I'm sorry.
It's Joe Camp. How is everybody doing on this Friday afternoon?
It's starting to get hot here again, and I really dislike it. I was really enjoying my fake fall for like 3 days with the windows open and everything.
It is deliciously fall already here in Seattle, and I love it.
So jealous.
It's 60 degrees today.
We-
Awesome.
We had that. We had that. Now we do not have that.
Had it, lost it.
I mean, there's a chance that PAX West is really warm, but for the most part, it's usually pretty like fall heavy.
Yeah.
So lucky.
All
Yep.
right. View project. Ta-da. All right. So let's take a look at our previous Relic riddle. Is it riddle 2? Riddle 3.
3.
Relic riddle number 3. Treasure hunting is pretty hard stuff. Where can you loot armor that's tough? So, the trick here is that the 2 lines of the riddle rhyme, which means that out of these 4 items, you were looking for, out of these 4 dungeons, you're looking for the one that rhymes with a piece of armor. And did you get this one?
I did not get this one.
Uh-oh. So, Great Jail rhymes with plate mail. The Song Fjord rhymes with longsword. The Tragic Pond yields a magic wand, and the Olden Spring will get you a golden ring. So let's see what our performance was on this guy here. So 55% of people got it right. Hate mail, yeah. With about 15% on the other 3 answers. So GG to everybody who got this one. And now I am going to launch the new riddle. 1 second while I push all of these buttons in the back end to launch it. Oops. Let me fix that before I ruin it. All right, so this is going to run until Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, so it's an hour earlier. We're not 100% positive whether we're going to run stream Tuesday or Wednesday next week. It depends on some weather situations because I will be in Maine one of those days. But plan is going to be Tuesday at 1, but maybe it'll be Wednesday at 1. I'll update on the BackerKit page on Monday what it's going to be. All right, publishing this poll.
Oh, Wednesday afternoon I have a doctor's appointment.
Well, then I hope it's Tuesday. Please go to Trivia Challenge.
I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I got this riddle is because I only discovered that jail was the only thing that I could see rhymed with anything armor, and I couldn't even really like I wasn't close to figuring it out at any other point. I just was like, mail. So if this is some sort of mail, that's probably armor. And I was like, okay, that's good enough for I guess.
So this next riddle is a slight departure from the first three. In the first three, all four of the answers were something. So like the wrong answer, like Songfjord was wrong, but it still rhymed with longsword. For reasons that will become apparent once you solve the fourth riddle, three of them are straight up decoys and one of them is correct. So slight challenge.
Mm.
You want to pop riddle 4 now? It is now actually. I had to actually create the file, sorry. So, relic riddle number 4. In this situation, a careful heady analysis locates item correctly. Exciting! Your options are a chalice, the Holy Grail, super sippy cup, and ambrosian goblet. Good luck, and may the relics be ever in your favor. Oh, we've been sued.
No, not again.
Oh no. I was just hungry for games. Anyways. I've got music interference coming in from behind me. Hold on. I'm fixing it. All right. So, outside of that, we have reached 2,000 backers. Yay.
Woo.
And $150,000 in funding.
Also, woo.
It's a double woo situation. So thanks to everyone who's here watching today. Thanks for everyone who's backed already. Thanks to everyone who's considering backing. And no thanks to anyone who didn't do any of those things. But actually, thanks anyways. Not that you're watching this, so it doesn't matter.
Why would they be here?
It's true. I'm watching out of spite. I hope they die in the dungeon. So we've updated the stretch goals. We have unlocked at 2,000 backers one more hero inside relics. I now realize, looking at the stretch goal completed diagram, that we have obscured where the item goes. We should probably change that. Like we've lost that the +1 hero goes into relics.
Oh,
this is extremely minor
in there. Yeah.
and not a big deal, but we should fix it.
Okay, but I mean, the relics and the heroes never go into the trove.
Well, the promo hero does. I know.
Right.
We'll figure something out.
That's called something different.
Okay. I know.
Yeah. I'll move it over.
We'll move it over. It's a giant crane that just picks up the letters. Beep, beep.
These incredibly complicated images.
So we have not designed the 5th hero yet. Next week, we're going to have backers be part of the hero design process. More on that soon. No, you cannot name the hero Dungeon McDungeonface. That.
Okay, but can I name the hero Dungeon McDungeonface?
Crowbar joins the call and is like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyways, so let's take a look over at our table. I should have faded that, and I didn't.
For a second, I thought that was a cat paw.
I did too, but it is not. Ivy is in a different place. And in fact, since this is a Twitch stream, we're going to take a trip over to Ivy Town real quick. Cats on stream. Cats on stream. It's Ivy's like, please stop. Immediately tucks face in.
Please don't look at me.
Ivy.
I didn't ask to be on stream.
Beautiful Ivy child.
I have not signed a release. All right, so I am now away from chat. So you all are responsible for monitoring chat questions, comments, and
you fool.
Correct. And the inevitable bring in of somebody being like, do you want more followers? Please click this highly unsuspicious link. Aside
It's
from
super
that,
trustworthy. I don't know what you're talking about.
holy cow, we have been bombarded with Facebook messages since we started the campaign because we ran a few ads on Facebook. Um, I every like 4 hours get a message from somebody in quasi broken English being like, "Your page is suspicious. We think you're using other people's pictures," and it's on this like official meta looking letterhead, so it's designed to be like Facebook's contacting you. It's like just click this link and we'll clear it all up. Surely you'll just have to enter your credit card information, social security number, which we already have because of the hack, and bank information, and everything will be fine. No. So let's talk about escape mode, a mode that literally nobody has seen up to this point.
Including me.
Correct. So escape mode is a concept that is born out of Metroidvania roguelike genre, where after you finish a game or a dungeon or something, the dungeon crumbles around you, and you must escape before you get squished by falling blocks. So this is going to be a deck of 20 cards. It's a mini expansion that is included in the Abyssal Trove bonus box. It is the first new content that we're going to be showing and talking about. So these 20 cards are all going to have little challenges on them that have dice values and boxes like other dungeon cards. And your goal, we're going to use this reference card. Get ready. Here it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Magnificent. Beautiful.
It's so good.
Design final. Print it.
It is, it is. So you're going to need to get through 7 cards to succeed. And I have prepared a Thrasher who just finished their dungeon delve. So there's 5 items and 3 skills here. So right now we've got 3 yellow dice, 5 pink dice, and 4 blue dice. So during escape, health doesn't matter, potions don't matter, and the relic at the moment doesn't matter. I'm going to figure out if it wants to or not, but I think no. Because I want this to be usable whether or not you're playing with relics. And you need to get through 7 cards before you run out of time. So this 20 card deck is your timer. If you try and draw a card from the deck and you don't have one, you lose. And how this is going to factor in to campaign mode is you'll get 2 extra check marks on your campaign mode sheet if you survive the escape in addition to beating the boss. So how this works is you're going to have your dice pool, and each turn during escape, sorry, nope, no. At the start of escape, you're going to roll all of the dice. So we've got 3 yellow, 5 pink, and 4 blue here. I'm going to roll all of these. And this is your dice roll. Look at that decent roll. Each turn during escape, you're going to flip a card to become the next place you're trying to get to. Before you do that, you have 3 choices. You can spend 0 time, which is discard 1 card from the escape deck, you can spend 0 cards to keep the dice you've got. You can spend 1 time to re-roll any or all dice, or you can spend 3 time to reset your dice, which is roll your full allotment again. The reason this is relevant is because each time you go through a card, the dice are going to stay on there until you reset them back to your pool. So let's open up the first card. So look at this very official looking thing. You see you've got 2 choices. You've got a path that has an 11 box that's blue, and a path that has a 4 box and a 6 box of yellow. So you need to get from the bottom of this card to the top of this card in whichever way you choose. In this case, we don't have a yellow 6, so we kind of need to go right. The normal rules of dungeon apply. So I could change these 2 pink 6s into a black 6, for example. And during escape, you can use each of your skills once. And you mark that by putting a potion token on it to show that it's used up. So that's the gist of how it works. If you get to a card and you can't do it, you fail that card, you discard it and another time, and you put out a new card. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds very interesting.
And is there an overall fail condition for the escape as a whole?
You have 20 cards. You have to complete 7 cards before you run out of time, because cards are time. So that is success or failure. So here we have a choice. We could use our 2 pink 6s as a black 6 to do that, and then also this pink 4. We could use some blue dice to do the blue 11. Or we could get a little bit clever and use these 2 as a black 2 and get to 11 that way. I'm kind of leaning in that direction because I like having these 6s left over. So I think we're going to do this. So we're going to spend, this is a wide box, it's blue 11. So we turn these into a black 2. And we have completed this card. So this card slides down and we're going to get new cards. So before we do this, this is our pool and the pool stays. We could keep what we've got. And this is actually a pretty good pool, so I think we're going to keep it. But we could spend 1 time to reroll some of them, or 3 times to just reset all the dice. So we're going to keep. And I'm going to shuffle these very official cards that I totally can't see the back of through the card. And we've got this one. So we can spend 20 worth of dice. That's supposed to be a gray box. It's any color. Or we can spend 2 time. It feels like 20 is clearly the correct choice.
Yes, the dice that we've got, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is going to be really fun to design because you can see like the modular way that these kind of paths can be illustrated on the card to then be connected up. You can have this nice sort of stack of 5, 6, 7 cards that actually visually show you the path that you've taken as you've escaped the dungeon. So this is going to be a fun visual on the table too.
This is the final art. Oh no.
Well, then I quit. I
Art budget $10. Ivy will draw these cards. Yeah, no, it's gonna look super cool. But since this is such a so a lot of the time we prototype cards that actually look really good. Like, you know, these relic cards look like real cards. This is such a fresh concept that it wasn't worth the effort to try and make it look good until we tried it out some and saw how it behaved. There's not even a spreadsheet for this yet. These is literally, look at these beautiful Sharpies. I did it myself.
Well, I kid you not. Chris had talked about this, and I haven't seen this yet. He's the only one who's seen this.
Correct.
And it's my job to play test stuff. I haven't seen any of this. So
yeah, Long John, I would not worry about how the Sharpie looks on the piece of paper because this is not.
Oh yeah, sorry. The yellow does not read, unfortunately.
This is purely for this first prototyping.
I definitely should have used an orange marker for the yellow, but I was rushing to get this latest iteration out before stream today. All right, so we got 20 there or 2 time. I think spending the 20 is a good choice. But you know what? Here's the interesting thing. We've got a really good pool still, so we could spend the 2 time and just get past this. And I think that's actually kind of fun. So I'm going to spend 2 times. So 2 cards come off of the deck. And there are 20 cards here. So aside from the 7 you start with, you have 13 time to spend.
Yeah, essentially.
All right, so we're going to go here. Got a new card out. And we get the 20 anyways. So actually, this is all worked out. So this card only has 1 path on it. So there's a variety of choices and not choices in this stack of cards. All right, so let's say we've got, that's 20 right there. I don't think with 4 dice left we want to continue. I think we don't want to overthink this one and we want to reset after this 3rd card. So we're going to spend 3 times to do that. 1, 2, 3. And we re-roll our pool from scratch, which means we're going to get back to the extra yellow die and the extra pink die that we changed into to a black.
And we hadn't even considered maybe doing the next card with the few die that we had, but also like one of the skills like triple strike, which would turn 1 die into 3. That would have been an option too. Although the total value of that would not be huge.
Right.
But that's an option.
So remember, we only get to use each skill once.
Right.
So saving them is a bit good.
But we do have 4 of them, and we only have 4 cards remaining at this point. We have
now
3 we've already cleared.
Now is the time for skill. So we're going to reveal the 4th card. So this is 3 equal pink dice or 15 blue. So we have a couple choices here. So the skills we've got the old version of Patience, which is reroll exactly 3 dice of different colors. Triple Strike, which is spend a pink to gain a pink 2, 3, and 4. Perfection, which is spend 8 blue to gain 2 blue 6s. Or Barrage, which is spend 2 pink dice to roll 3 pink dice and discard 1 of them. So
Triple Strike is really the only one that would actually help here.
So we're going to Triple Strike, which is going to spend that 2 to give us a 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to use Patience to reroll 3 dice of different colors. We've got some crappy dice here. What I really want to do is roll a 4 on this pink die, but actually any 4 will be good enough. And we rolled a 4 on the pink die. This was a 3, I think, before I knocked it. And we got worse dice in other places. So
it was 2, 3, 4.
We have 3 pink 4s, and that is clearly the winning strategy for getting through this floor. Whoop. All right, so next floor. So this is where we could spend 1 time to reroll a bunch of our dice. And I would say this little batch here that are all 3 or less is a good option for that.
As long as you know you wouldn't want to spend all those blue to turn them into 2 blue 6s.
Yeah, but I think we can get to 8 value with less than 4 dice almost always. All right, so we're going to spend 1 time. We're going to reroll. Oops. We got this over here. So yeah, that's a market improvement. And now we're going to put out card number 5. So our choices here are 2 equal yellow dice, or a 6 and a 5 of different colors.
I mean, the 5 and 5 of yellow is less.
Yeah, I think that is the winner here. So we're actually doing very well. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards left, and we're not in trouble at all.
And we only have 2 more rooms.
Yeah. All right, so I don't think we need to do anything with these dice. We're just going to open door number 6. Oops, that card doesn't work. A couple of these cards got broken. All right, so we need to do a blue 4 for sure. So we're just going to do that. And then either a pink 6 or 14 worth of dice.
I think we can afford the pink 6.
I agree. Yeah, no, we're cruising through this one.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just roll nothing but 4s, 5s, and 6s, huh?
Jesus Christ, huh?
I wonder how that happens.
I don't know what this feels like. This feels like it's fake to me.
I'm looking at the programming, and there's like a line here that says, "If not Joe, roll 6."
This is some facts.
If Chris give priority 4+.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right.
Now we have a problem.
Oh dear.
We need to have a yellow 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not great because we have a yellow 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we can actually do it. We can do it. So we can use all of our remaining dice to make 3 black dice that are 2, 3, or 4 or higher. So that's our 7th card. And we escape. So we have won the escape with, some time to spare.
Nice.
Yeah, so obviously this is not balanced yet. Right now, what I'm looking for is this fun? And we've got not too. We don't want this to be like another entire game on top of the normal game. It wants to be a mini game. It wants to take 5 to 10 minutes to finish. Like after you're done with the dungeon run, to sort of be, a little bonus experience. And the idea is that each of these cards will be a little bit different. They might, in fact, be double-sided because you'll draw off the bottom of the deck in that case, just so we have more variety. But anyways, that is the current version of escape mode. What do you all think? And chat, folks, what do you think? Because I'm interested to hear opinions on this concept.
I mean, I think it looks really simple and fun, and I always dig the sort of modularity of stuff like this, especially like, as a visual person, like being able to sort of lay out different paths every time and be like, I'm gonna take this fork this time and it leads to this room, and I have never had this combination of things before, and maybe it's better suited to my character's dice, maybe it's worse suited. And then also, I guess what I want to know is like, how's the incentive for this, like at the end? Like, is this a significant boost to something in campaign mode, or a huge benefit for the next time that you run through dungeons? Like, you want to feel like you're really getting like rewarded nicely for this, for a successful escape, and then maybe even a minor reward for failing the escape attempt. But you still obviously beat the boss, so it's, you've done something good, so you want to see a little extra
XP multiplier.
Yeah,
give me a multiplier just so like I get an extra 1.5 if I succeed or whatever.
Yeah, and does that multiplier increase with the more time that you escape with remaining?
Oh, sure.
Those are kind of fun balance things that are also just like good overall incentives for the mode.
Yeah, like my initial thought was you get a couple of extra check marks for escaping.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But some quantity based on
how far from escape you are and stuff. Yeah.
And how much time
and
you left over.
The other thing is, do we introduce other difficulty mechanics? Like, is there a point at which you ever take poison damage, or do you take do you take health damage, or is it strictly just do you have the dice to get through the room or through the path?
The reason that right now I don't have any sort of damage mechanics, and there's not going to be any consequences in the boxes. The idea is to keep it super simple because we want this to move fast. There wants to be some choices, but not the depth of like a galaxy turn or even a dungeon turn.
Right.
I'm rolling some dice. I'm deciding to push my luck or not based on whether I'm going to keep, reroll, or reset. And there shouldn't be too much puzzle once you roll the dice. It's, did this work or not? You have your skills to use, but only once for the whole escape.
Sure. You don't want people to sit in AP. Yeah.
No. It should be,
It's just the dungeon is collapsing. Can you get out in time?
Yeah, and in fact, sitting to think for a while is sort of antithetical to the thematic portion of it, which is you should be running, run.
Right.
Oops, I knocked over the towels.
Is there an inherent class bonus or penalty to like does each class, do you envision them having like a bonus to their ability to escape, or something about escaping? Like, the smith is a horse, can probably run really fast. Like, does she have an easier time getting out of the dungeon?
So right now, because I looked at this, the only heroes that have an inherent disadvantage are the witch and the alchemist right now, pending other heroes coming out, because their stats are a little bit lower to account for them having weird heroic feats, and I think that's okay. Um, but no, other than that, everyone is about on the same scale.
Maybe for something like that because the stats are lower and they're it's to compensate for skill stuff. It's like, okay, the witch gets to use a skill,
maybe, yeah,
one skill twice rather than each skill once.
yeah. We'll see. Those are like little knobs. The first goal is to make sure this functions as a concept, and I think it does. Like that was fun to go through with chat and sort of run through. Um, the other thing is obviously if you do a very skill heavy build, you're going to be slightly disadvantaged as opposed to just having more dice. But I don't think that's too big of a deal.
Possibly, but there are a lot of skills that turn few dice into many dice, so
that is true.
It might not be.
But yeah, so the idea with these cards, and you can see all of this beautiful illustration, is for there to be one or two choices per card and some branching paths. I also do definitely want some of them to be a straight up, you don't have a choice in this card. Because I think that sort of threat of danger is good for not knowing what's coming. Because if you know that your pool of all these dice is always going to work out, it's a little bit less fun. And that's kind of why I want to go to the double-sided cards. There's actually 40 options instead of 20. With the notion that you just always deal a card off the bottom of the deck. So you don't see what's coming. Or possibly we balance it so you do see what's coming. But I think that's probably a bad idea. So the next step here is going to be figuring out the mathematical side of things, which is how high should these numbers be? You know, that was on the easy side. I've run this a few times and I've gotten out most of them. So I haven't adjusted yet how the numbers shake out. But we'll have another iteration of this before next stream for sure. So it seems like escape mode is a winner, which is exciting. I like
that sounds great.
Yeah, I think it's just it's fun. It's just more dungeon, more things to do in the dungeon.
More dungeon.
And it also it can be fun for the different dungeons to have a slightly different set of cards. Like maybe there is a certain assortment of cards that belongs to a particular set of dungeons and are themed in a certain way.
That is a cool idea, but that is a lot of cards.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I know.
Holy moly.
Just saying.
That's the sort of thing that would be more feasible.
That'd be great digitally. Yeah, but like even just sorting, like, hey, you have 40 cards to sort through that are just for the escape, and you need these 20 cards. Like that's annoying.
True. But it could be the case where the dungeon influences the cards in some way. Like if you flip the dungeon card back over.
Or it's like there are three relics specific dungeons that are or dungeon paths that are fire themed, and they need to go in to the assortment of 20.
Yeah. That run with me explaining stuff took about a little bit under 10 minutes to do. So I'm confident that in the hands of actual players with cards that you can actually read,
5-6 minutes tops.
Yeah, 5 minutes,
it's
10
quick.
minutes. And of course, if you have 2 players, these rules pretty much stay the same. It's just you each have your pools. It would be like normal dungeon. I don't think it's necessary to get the relic powers and the heroic feats back in here. I think that's just overcomplicating the situation. These want to be snappy turns.
Right. I guess the only other thing fundamentally to consider is, does escape mode feel like a compulsory way to end the dungeon, or can people just as well just plop down, beat the dungeon, and be like, okay, that's it, I'm done? Like, or are they going to feel like they have to do escape mode every time, otherwise they're just leaving benefits on the table?
I mean,
Right.
they are if they're doing campaign mode, kind of right. Like they are.
Sure. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that in terms of whether it's fun or not. To Yeah, this sort of goes into the rebalancing of what campaign mode is all about. Um, it shouldn't feel mandatory, but it should just feel you should just want to do it because it's fun.
Right.
Is what I think. Um, what I can see is if the card has multiple paths, one of the paths can be linked to a specific dungeon deck or dungeon levels, but always needs to have a free-for-all path. Oh, you could have now that's an interesting concept. You have a card that says Dungeon Floor 2 on it, which means you have to fill the floor 2 boxes of the dungeon card.
Oh,
So you
I
can
see.
have cards look at the dungeon cards in that fashion.
Right.
And that's actually a cool concept because that means you can get the dungeon flavor back in and be like, oh no, it's the second floor of the dungeon again. Well, that's the worst.
or throw in random perils.
Mm-hmm. Peril Party.
Yeah.
Well, these kind of behave like perils.
Peril does get into the complication of like now you're talking about a full dungeon turn in the
That's
middle
fair.
of this sort of quick fire escape mode.
Yeah, because these are sort of distilled perils down
That's fair.
into
Yeah.
choose a
Right,
path
No,
and
no,
go
that's
right.
for
fair. Yeah.
it.
I do like the idea of just like, oh crap, this floor of this dungeon, and it's just because those are really quick.
Yeah.
And that replaces one of the path cards.
Like one path. No, one's like instead of a number box, there would be a little box that says second floor of dungeon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it would be you need to fill in that to get past this little spot.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It becomes sort of a mimic.
Yeah, because you're going down this winding path, and then all of a sudden you come to this opening, and you're like, oh shit, it's the second floor of the dungeon crumbling around me. Okay, let me find the next door out.
That's a fun thematic ad.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea, Joe.
I like it.
So this is not a stretch goal. This is already going to be included no matter what in the Abyssal Trove. We do have 2 other mini expansions that I've got ideas for that I haven't started a whole lot of design work. We also updated the stretch goals list to be slightly more friendly numbers wise. So at 2,800 backers, and we're a little over 2,000 right now, we're going to add dungeon randomizer cards. These will potentially be integral in 4 and 6 player mode. And what they are is dungeon floors that are not attached to any particular dungeon, but are the approximate difficulty levels of floor 1, 2, or 3. And the other one at 4,200 backers, this is a bit of a stretch, but if we get it, it's cool, is a 4th floor mini expansion. So a little bit more exploring before you reach the boss. And it will make the boss slightly harder as a result also. So these are 4th floors that will add on to any dungeon, and it's sort of like a boss prologue. So you're getting ready for the boss fight, but you're not quite there. And if we get beyond 4,200, there are other stretch goals we could think of and add, and I would love to do that. So tell all of your friends to back 1 deck dungeon Relics of the Forge immediately.
Yep, that's the easiest way to see all these things.
But yeah, so we're doing good. We're at 2,065 backers now. So I'm confident we're going to hit more of these stretch goals because people keep coming into the campaign and enjoying it. Let's throw the riddle 3 back up there. Yeah, if we get to 6,900 backers, we'll add Entrance Shuffler. No. So again, if you missed it, the new riddle is up, Relic riddle number 4. It is live on the page now. Let me see if anybody's answered it. Two people have answered it, and I will not reveal how many of them are correct or not, because that would give it away. So next week we're gonna do a stream either on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll update that on Monday. Today's a little bit of a shorter stream because it is Friday and because this is a short mode, it's escape mode. Anything else from chat or our team before we head off?
No, I'm excited to try this out and pick your brain with it.
Yes, to do so, you will have to get Sharpies and markers.
That's okay. I have lots of those.
Great.
So.
I am already percolating on ideas of how these cards are going to be designed, because I think we could do fun stuff with like the sort of the stone path and like glowing hallways that the hero cards have in their background
Nice.
in the dungeon. And you know, we can do stuff where like if things get themed a little bit towards the deck that they belong to, they can have little visual details there. And definitely the idea for me would be to make these paths so that they, you know, when you lay them out on the table, they can actually like visibly connect up, and you have this nice looking continuous path you're following along in the dungeon.
Yeah, you want to have that feel like you're actually going through it, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for how these are going to look. I think they're going to be super cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to today's Friday mini expansion dev stream, and we will see you all soon.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. We did it. I know. It's funnier this way. Oh no, the microphone is hot. Bye, everybody.